Paul, I'd like to start off that we are interviewing Beverly Roberts, who co-starred with Jolson in the 1936 movie, The Singing Kid. And we are in New York City. This is the, 29th of June, and the year of our Lord, 1977. And first of all, I do want to say how gracious it was for Miss Roberts to give us this interview. There's so many people that don't like to talk to fans or people that are prospective interviews.
I don't understand that, because I'm very pleased that anybody who remembers. It's been quite a long time. When you say 1936, it sounds like way, way back.
I think what we'd really like to ask you is, I believe I mentioned it in the letter because I mentioned it the same way I wrote to Otis Lowe, and I haven't heard from her yet. Whether or not the memories were good with Mr. Jolson or not, I'm sure there are times in everybody's life a person isn't feeling good on a particular day. We got the impression from, was it called Jolson? By Michael Friedland. Mm-hmm. Did you and Mr. Jolson get along during the making of the movie, or was there...
Well, I tell you, you didn't kind of get along with Mr. Jolson. He was a very peculiar man. There were facets of his personality which were warm and charming and delightful and accomplished, and there were other facets which most people didn't find quite so agreeable. But that is true, I think, of a lot of people in the kind of position that he was in. And it's very difficult to maintain one's sense of human contact and integrity when you're in the position of a superstar. It's true today just as it was then. And superstars, for some reason, seem sometimes to be a little removed from reality in their human relationships. And this was true of him as it is of many other people. It didn't mean that we didn't get along, and it didn't mean that he was objectionable to me or anything of the kind. I simply mean that there is a kind of separation between superstars and the rest of the world. That's all, the only way I can tell you. It even extends into their families. There is a kind of almost a feeling within, I guess, such a person that he's something separated from the rest of mankind. And I think that actually, in a way, the world does have to them. Because when you say that somebody's the hub of the universe, you know, they're going to start to believe it.
I know what you mean,
you
yes.
Know?
I think I do, yes.
But Mr. Jolson had many wonderful qualities, and I'm not in any way putting him down. Don't misunderstand me. Well, I was very young at the time, and I was inexperienced, and perhaps if I had worked with Mr. Jolson a few years later, I would have had more poise and dominion and that kind of thing, and been on a different keel. But this was my first picture. So I was kind of vulnerable.
This is something that was interesting too. This was your first motion picture?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we didn't know.
Yes,
we couldn't find any information.
Yes.
I believe I mentioned that in the letter.
I think
We just kind of mainly wanted to get your opinion of the movie. Now, according to Mr. Friedland, and this, of course, we're talking about an Englishman writing a book thousands of miles away, when the picture was over, according to him, Mr. Jolson was very angry. Did you get this opinion when the picture was finished? Did he say anything on the set that made you to believe that he was...
I have no recollection of anything like that. No,
yes.
No, I don't know. It could be. I know that, some things annoyed him very much, and it may not even have been anything to do with the picture. It could have been something else. And other things he just let roll off his back. But as far as his satisfaction with the picture is concerned, I wasn't in on that at all. I don't know. I have no idea. Mm-hmm. If I did ever know, I've forgotten.
Certainly.
At that time, the picture was directed by William Keighley, who I later got to know very well. But I don't even think I ever discussed it with him particularly, We just did the picture and that was that.
Yes.
And little Sybil Jason was a dear, as you know. And as a matter of fact, I heard from her 2 or 3 years ago. I got a letter from her. And I wrote her back, but I don't know what happened, whether my letter went astray or what happened. But when I got out to Hollywood last year, I tried to reach her and wasn't able to.
She does.
I understand she lives in Hollywood.
Yes, I believe I mentioned in my letter, if you happen to know where she was.
Yeah.
I'm going to Hollywood next year. That's my home.
Well,
I was born in Glendale.
I'm not sure.
Sybil, yes, I think Sybil did do a fine job. Do you have any idea how old she was during the making of the movie?
I don't have the impression she was about 5 or 6, I think. maybe a year or so older, but she was a very, very young child.
Did you two have a warm relationship during the making of the movie?
Oh, yes, very. Yeah, she was a darling child, and she, her brother and whether his sister or whether her brother and his wife were looking after her. I don't think I ever met her mother and father. She was Australian, you know.
No, I didn't.
Or some either Australian or New Zealand or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I remember, except that I do remember she was a very, very lovely child with very good manners and very sweet. I'm still looking, and if I find it, I'll let...
Did Jolson seem pleased with the songs he sang during the movie, or were you there on those sets when he did the singing parts?
Well, that was usually done in the studio and then dubbed into the film. So I was not there when I was there when he dubbed it during the scene, but not when he actually sang them. So if he had any problems in connection with the numbers themselves, you know...
when you mentioned dubbed, I'm to the understanding, I read an article once where Mr. Jolson didn't like to pre-record. He wanted to do it live. Did he do it live during the movie?
Not that I know of, no. I don't think it was technically right for them to do that at the time.
I see.
Because to begin with, if you made a mistake, you have to stop the camera and the film and all of the people and pay everybody, you know, whereas if you do it in the studio, you can get, maybe within an hour, you can get 4 or 5 recordings and use the best one.
Yes.
So from a practical point of view, they dubbed almost every song or every musical number that was ever done in pictures. That's the reason. Because that way they could get perfection without having to go through it 1,000 times with everything, you know, being paid for.
We understand. That's right. Like we say, a mistake made during a song, that's the whole thing. Right. Start the production all over again.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yes, those were interesting days, and there are times when I could wish that perhaps the business was a little bit more like it used to be. Of
course, like you said, maybe really, I don't know how close your relationship was. Did you ever get the opinion that Mr. Jolson, we get this quite often, was actually a stage performer and really truly was never supposed to be a movie star?
Sure that's true. That was true of many, many performers. It was probably true of him. Yes, he was, of course, one of the greatest stars in the theater who's ever been. And to translate that particular kind of ability and kind of quality which he had, which was a larger-than-life quality on the stage, into pictures, which takes a different technique, wasn't always easy for everybody to make the transition, and wasn't always successful. The reason why so many of the great stars like the Gabels and the Coopers, who never thought of themselves as being very good actors, were so successful on screen, they probably would have not made it in the theater at all, because they didn't have that ability to project themselves. They weren't really that kind of personality. They were more intimate one. But the camera picks that up, you see.
Yes.
And so therefore on the screen, every little quirk of the nostril or twitch of an eyebrow has a meaning. Mm-hmm. On the stage it means nothing. So the difference between a Jolson and a Gary Cooper is just that. Both good performers, but one excelled in one medium and one in another.
Certainly, right. It does stand to reason that, you know, man starting in the year 1899 as Jolson did, then coming into Broadway in 1911, and took from then on, of course, it was all, Broadway was his from roughly 1913 up until he left in 26 to go to
Did you see Ruby Keith? I'm trying to remember, I think Cab Calloway was in.
Yes, he was, right.
Yeah, I don't know whether you've reached him or not. Cab, of course, has a marvelous background in the business, and I don't know whether he knew Jolson besides being in that. Also, trying to think who else it was. No, he's not Horace McMahon. He's not. I think he's not around.
I said Edward Everhart gone now.
Yes, right.
And Jenkins.
Alan
Jenkins is gone. Very fine character actor, wasn't he?
Excellent.
Miles Albert.
Yeah.
I presume most of those people are gone now.
Yacht Club Boys.
Yacht Club Boys. I can't believe they were all. They weren't that. At that age, I'm sure there's at least a few of them.
Yes,
I'm probably
sure.
still.
They're probably not in acting alone.
No.
Probably all in real estate or something.
I know exactly what you mean.
Well, I thank you very much for your interest, and I'm sorry I haven't been too helpful about him because it's a long time ago.
Oh, certainly it is. 42 years.
We only worked on the picture for a couple of months, and after that, we had very little contact. As a matter of fact, I think, if I remember rightly, he had arguments with Warner Brothers at the time himself. So
Yeah, sure. Like sings at the where he brought you down to your seat, remember, and I love you too, and you looked back at him and said, I love. Do you remember that scene?
Nope.
And he said, I love you too, and Sybil was sitting next to you, and he reached over, kissed you, and he was in his tux. You just left the taxi cab, and he came down the
But
theater.
you must have seen it more recently than I did.
I have the movie.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I have the full
I
length.
haven't seen it since then. So you're asking me to remember something, that's...
When we went up on the stage,
It happened
I presume
long
this
time
was
ago.
all scenery, and all these people sitting around were extras in the theater.
Yes, unquestionably. Yeah. No, I don't remember. I would think it would be kind of fun to see it again sometime. I could.
The only reason I didn't bring it with me, Paula wanted to see it, was because we're going over into Canada tomorrow or next day, and I was afraid they would confiscate it from me.
Yes, that's quite possible. You're not allowed to transport film across the border.
We're not the funny thing, the sad thing about it is, the sad thing about it is that the United Artists, MGM sold, MGM, Warner Brothers sold all their movies of Jolson, James Cagney. We're down at Vets Memorial. This happens to be Sunday, 24th of June, 1979. Talking to Cab Calloway, appearing in Bubbling Brown Sugar in the capital city of Columbus at Veterans Memorial. I'm standing here with him, and of course we know that Mr. Calloway's a busy man, and we're just going to have hopefully we can get a few questions answered and a couple of signatures. You did a very nice show, Mr. Calloway.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
In fact, you're looking very fine. You look almost as young as you did in 36.
I wish I felt that.
How old were you when you did the Singing Kid? It was the last 3 months of 1935.
Oh, how old was I then?
Right.
35? I was about 25, 30, about 30 years old.
30 years old at the time. In a book, you wrote a book called Of Minnie the Moocher. On page 131, you said that you had heard Al Jolson was to make the movie, and you wanted to get in it, so you talked to your press agent. Of course, the name of the movie was The Singing Kid.
That's right.
You mentioned that you had some rough arguments with Harold Arlen. Was he the producer?
No, he was the writer of the songs. He did all of the songs, Save Me Sister.
Beautiful, right.
I love to singer.
Yeah.
And when I could see your heart.
Well, in fact, you sang a song in that, and it was called "Keep That Heidi-Ho in Your Soul."
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
And then you mentioned that Al Jolson told Arlen, he said,
leave him alone.
He said, look, Cab knows what he wants to do. Let him do his own thing. And after that, Arlen left me alone. And then you said Jolson and I lived in an adjunct penthouse. Was this true or just part of the movie?
Well, that was part of the movie. Yeah, that was part of it.
Because you opened up the movie and Cab yelled over. He said, "Good morning, Cab," or Al did.
Right.
And you said, "Hi, Al," and you had your band with you. That's when he sang that song, "I Love to Sing It."
That's right.
And then you were, Beverly Roberts was in the movie, and I saw Beverly 2 years ago in New York. The Yacht Club boys were there.
That's right.
Sybil Jason was the little girl.
Right.
Edward Everett Horton and Alan Jenkins were there, but of course they've passed away since.
Yeah.
What was the feeling at that time in '36? what was the feeling of the black people with a man like Mr. Jolson appearing in blackface? What were the feelings in those days?
Well, I really don't know. I mean, I wasn't even interested in what the feelings would
Didn't
be.
it didn't matter to
I was just
you?
there to do the picture, that's all.
You were there to do the
Yeah.
picture. You didn't have any feelings one way or the
No,
other. What would you think would happen to a man like Jolson today?
Well, Jolson would be as popular today as he was 40 years ago, 50 years ago. Wouldn't be any difference.
Of course, more than likely, he wouldn't appear in blackface.
Oh, why not?
Do you think you'd have trouble?
What kind of trouble? What kind of trouble for what? This man's a performer. He was doing his work. He was doing his business. That's all, wasn't it? Nothing other than that.
Yeah. You also appeared with Al on January the 25th, 1936 on Shell Chateau. Do you remember that show? Was that in New York or Hollywood?
No, I don't remember that show. Shell Chateau.
Shell Chateau, January the 25th.
It was a radio show.
It was a radio show.
Yeah.
And you were on it promoting the movie. Because the movie, of course, didn't come out till 36.
That's right.
By any chance, do you have anything, any memoirs or anything of the movie laying around, like a script or
Oh, yeah, I have copies of all of it, yeah.
Some
I
of
have
it,
it, yeah. I have it, all of it. The whole thing.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, listen, I'm just going to take
All right.
1 second, Jack. We're going to get a couple of things signed here real quick. Thank you very much for talking to us, Mr. Calloway. Hey, Jack, you want to stand here a minute and hold this while we're finishing up?
All right.
And
40 West 57th Street.
She's not back there. No.
the name is Otis Lowe, O-T-I-S. Otis is good enough.
Well, you want to walk back?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
But appreciate it very much, Mr. Calloway.
Okay, now.
Thank you. We'll see you later. How many pictures did you get?
In this hurly-burly day of radio and steam, this world would hardly seem the place to nurse our dream. Chasing rainbows in the half-mad traffic of today may be a foolish thing, but I'm a fool that way so. Here's to all my dreams, and may they all come true. May they find me soon. Here's to every longing of a dreamer who can still believe in reaching for a moon or two. Tonight, a starlet fell and turned your eyes into a wishing well. So here's to all my dreams, and may they all come true. Here's looking at you. Here's to all my dreams, and may they all come true. May they find me soon. Here's to every longing of a dreamer who can still believe in reaching for a moon or two. Tonight, a starlet fell and turn your eyes into a wishing well. So here's to all my dreams, and may they all